All right, let's move on to the second bowl game. Saturday, December 16th, 2:15 p.m. Eastern in the New Orleans Superdome. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Jacksonville State will take on Louisiana. Jacksonville State had a couple defensive injuries. Jabari Mack hasn't played since week 8 at their cornerback. One of their better defenders, Jalen Swain, he didn't play in the finale. ULL, there's one of their best linebackers in the portal, Kendra Gant. He's a really good player and matters. And then their starting left tackle, Nathan Thomas, really good player. He's going to miss the bowl due to an offseason surgery. Other than that, looks like there's not a lot of opt-outs on either team. Head coach for Louisiana, Michael DeSormo, he did say he's hopeful that their starting safety, Cortland Flowers, and their starting center, Landon Burton, who both missed time at the end of the season. He's hoping that they'll get both of those players back. So there's a chance Louisiana might be without 2 starting offensive linemen, a starting linebacker, and their starting safety. When I look at this game, one of the first bets I think that you made, and one of the first bets that I made was Jacksonville State.
Mm-hmm.
They're now 3.5 point favorite here, over under 59.5. You got to keep in mind Jacksonville State's one of the fastest teams in the country. One of the reasons why this total is high. But look, here's a couple. Jacksonville State was circled before I even knew who they were going to play as one of the teams that I assumed would have the highest motivation of any bowl team not in the college football playoff. This is a team that they didn't know if they were going to go to a bowl because of the stupid rules. It ended up breaking for them, and this is their first year at the FBS level. I just think that everything lines up for Jacksonville State really caring about this game. And then you look and you say, okay, let's see who's opting out. Nothing. The news is there's no news there. So yeah, I like Jacksonville State here. I don't know. I can't really lay over 3.5. Mm-hmm. But I think anything at a field goal or below. Not a fan of this Louisiana defense, and especially without Gant. I'm not sure if where Louisiana is. I know they're going to be in New Orleans, which maybe it matters a little bit just from a proximity perspective. But Jacksonville State's not too far away either. But yeah, is Louisiana a team that's a program that's used to being in conference championships? Are they really going to be excited to play in the R&L Carriers Bowl against a transitioning FBS team? I'm not so sure, but I think Jacksonville State will have success on the ground here, and I know that they will be fully motivated. I like the Gamecocks. You agree?
I do, absolutely. I am not hedging off the underdog bet that, when Jacksonville State was an underdog, I'm definitely not going to hedge off of that. But there is some sharp buyback in the market when it gets to 3.5. There are some, I think there is one book I saw touch 4 and then it completely got gobbled up. So I think there's going to be a battle here at 3.5, because if you would have projected this game in the season with the rosters full, it'd have been Louisiana -3. So, again, how many points can you go before you find out it's too much and they come back? The ULL, you mentioned the portal losses for both sides. Linebacker Kendra Grant's pretty big, 5th in pressures, 4th in tackles for Louisiana. Nothing real big on Jacksonville State, just the injury for J-Rock, Jalen Swain, who's 2nd in pressures. He's doubtful here. There's backup edges, Kamari Stevens and Curly Young, who posted 17 pressures apiece. So I don't think it's that big of a drop off for them. One thing I would keep an eye on is Jacksonville State corner Derek Carter, 6 PBUs on the season. That would be a loss. Plus, quarterback Zion Webb has been landing punts at the 1-yard line in practice. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Rich Rod get into his bag and try to do something a little crazy here. This is Michael DeZormo's first game that he ever coached was in this bowl. They won 36-21 over Marshall. Didn't win their bowl game last year, so he's looking to be 2-1 against the spread. Chandler Fields took over the starting quarterback duty for ULL in Week 11 versus Southern Miss. Since then, he's had a 7-to-1 TD to INT ratio, being the starter. He's been on this roster since the days of Sunbelt Billy in 2019, so he knows, he knows the playbook, he knows the program, he knows the system inside and out. And the strength of both defenses is really against the rush. Poor strength of schedule for both of these teams, but top 5 in success rate, line yards, 12th in stuff rate for Jacksonville State against the run. They have big success against outside zone and average numbers against inside zone. And it's really good on good because ULL is pretty successful with outside zone. No explosives, but they're really good from a success rate. Jacksonville State is really good at stopping that. And, Jacksonville State has been excellent at stopping huge explosive runs. They're 15th in defensive rush EPAs, and they have a big 60% success rate on other rush concepts. So really it's good on good with both of these teams. The steam did go, pretty high above 3. I'm not sure if there's that big of an advantage to say that they should be up by 4, but the Jacksonville
I
State,
would wait. I think I agree that you're going to get buyback, and you'll probably be able to get a 3 or maybe 2.5. I wouldn't lay over 3. I would wait. I don't think there's it's going to go. I don't think it'll close over a field goal.
Yeah, I think they're all going to get eaten up. I mean, the biggest gap in this game is ULL can't defend the rush as well as Jacksonville State does.
Yep.
So, and I think the total's correct. I make it 55, project 55.5. 55 is pretty key. So I would just be cognizant of the fact that if you see 3.5s out there, they're going to get snapped up. But if you're holding Jacksonville State at any number 3 or lower, then you're going to be fine.